She mocked a disabled man on TikTok. She laughed while millions watched. She had no idea his daughter was a federal attorney. That's when things stopped being funny. It began on a Tuesday. The park was quiet, midday sun, a few joggers, a couple walking their beagle. And then there was Mr. Lawson, Vietnam vet, stroke survivor, 63, thin frame, walks with a cane. And that day, he was just sitting on a bench eating a sandwich, alone, quiet, until she showed up. The video starts mid-zoom, he's mid-bite, then her voice cuts through like a blade. Look at this dude. Bro really buffering in real life. Giggles, phone shake, a digital emoji slapped over his face. Hey, Grandpa, she says off camera. Need me to reboot you? She keeps laughing. Others in the comments do too. But she made two mistakes. One, she didn't blur his face. Two, she posted it under her real name. At Karen Unfiltered, 43 years old, real estate agent, self-described truth teller. No filter, no empathy, no clue who she just humiliated. The video, 500,000 views in 6 hours. Duets, stitches, memes. But at hour 7, someone stitched it with a simple caption. That's my father. You just screwed up. And that account? Verified. Alexis Rivera Law. She wasn't bluffing. She wasn't angry. She was already building a case. He wasn't trying to go viral. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just tired. Mr. Lawson had been coming to Maplewood Park every Tuesday and Friday since his stroke 2 years ago. It was part of his rehab, routine, quiet exposure to sunlight and a bit of walking. Just enough to remind his body that it still belonged to him. That morning, he made himself a simple sandwich. Turkey, lettuce, no mayo, packed it in foil, put it in the same brown paper bag he always used. And at 10:47 a.m., he took the number 12 bus like he always did. He didn't speak to anyone, didn't smile much. He just sat on that weathered wooden bench by the lake like he had 100 times before. A couple jogged past him. A dog sniffed his cane. Nothing out of the ordinary until her SUV pulled up. It was loud, white, a brand new Lexus. She double parked in a permit holders only zone, left the door open, music blasting, TikTok still playing through the car speakers. Karen stepped out like she owned the park. She wore oversized sunglasses, leggings with a leopard print stripe, and a tank top that read "Blessed and Unbothered" in glitter. But she was very much bothered by Mr. Lawson. She didn't even look around. She just locked eyes with him and smirked. "Are you okay, sir?" she asked, voice dripping with sarcasm. "You've been sitting there since I got here, and I just feel like I need to check if you're alive." He blinked, didn't speak. That's when she pulled out her phone, started filming, started laughing, started narrating his every move like it was a joke. Across the park, a teenage boy looked up, then pulled out his phone. So did a girl near the food truck. Soon, a small crowd had their screens up, watching, recording, reposting. She wasn't just mocking a man, she was performing. And the algorithm loved it. By noon, the clip was in group chats across town. By 2 p.m., it hit TikTok's For You page. By 5, it was on Twitter, rebranded as X, with the hashtag #HadGrandpaGlitch. Comments poured in. LMAO, she did him dirty. NPC vibes. Bro buffering harder than my Wi-Fi. But not everyone found it funny. At 6:14 p.m., someone commented, "Wait, isn't that Mr. Lawson from the VA hospital? He had a stroke last year. He's disabled. That's messed up. Is this even legal?" One user replied, "Y'all think this is funny, but someone's about to get sued." They were right, because over in her downtown office, Alexis Rivera had just wrapped a deposition. She opened her phone, saw the video, paused. Then she picked up her office line and said 4 words. "Start a case file." She didn't slam her desk. She didn't curse. She didn't cry. She just watched it again. And this time she noticed something others didn't. Karen looked directly into the camera. She smirked. She turned the phone to show her own face at the end of the clip. With a wink. She wanted the attention. Now she was going to get it, just not the kind she expected. Karen didn't apologize. She doubled down. By the next morning, the video had over 1.2 million views, and she was loving every second of it. She posted a second TikTok, this time from the driver's seat of her Lexus. Okay, so apparently the internet's mad that I filmed some dude who looked like he was dead. Sorry, but if you're gonna sit in public looking like a scarecrow in a coma, I'm gonna say something. Smirk, shoulder shrug, a wink to the camera. Y'all are too soft. This is why nobody jokes anymore. She added the caption, had unfiltered forever. So I don't do apologies. In the comment section, the tone had shifted. People weren't laughing anymore. They were angry. He's a vet, you psycho. This isn't edgy, it's cruel. Wait till the ADA lawyers see this. But Karen didn't care. She posted another video that afternoon, filmed right outside Maplewood Park. She stood in front of the same bench. Update, I came back to see if Mr. Buffering was still here. Guess what? Bench is empty. Maybe someone finally unplugged him. She laughed, alone. This time, no one else was filming. The crowd wasn't there, just wind, birds, and a woman losing control of her own narrative. But back at the law office of Rivera and Shaw, things were getting organized. Alexis wasn't the type to scream into the void. She was the type to build a case so clean, so airtight, that it didn't even need theatrics. Step 1, screenshot everything. Step 2, identify damages. Step 3, file intent to sue for defamation, harassment, in violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Alexis had done this dance before, but never for someone she loved. She visited her father that evening. He didn't know about the video, not yet. She brought it up gently, but he waved her off. Let them laugh, he said. She doesn't know me. I'm fine. But she wasn't. Alexis had spent her whole life watching men like her father, quiet, kind, strong, get mocked, dismissed, discarded. Not this time. She posted a statement, just one paragraph. Black background, white text, pinned to the top of her professional account. The woman in this video violated my father's rights, dignity, and safety. I am taking legal action on his behalf. This is no longer about a TikTok. It's about consequences. Then came the press. Within 48 hours, 3 local news stations picked up the story. Then BuzzFeed, then The Hill. Hashtag Karen Unfiltered started trending. By Dina Happy, give one my name. Cherry trending, but not the way she wanted. A clip of her mocking Mr. Lawson ran side by side with her follow-up video. Commentators called it the ugliest side of influencer culture. And the comments, mocking a stroke survivor. Hope she has good lawyers. That man served this country. She served attitude. This is what happens when cruelty meets consequences. Karen panicked. She tried going live to defend herself, but it backfired. Sweaty, rambling, pacing in her kitchen. They're twisting everything. I was just joking. It was just a bit. Viewers weren't buying it. Someone typed, "Tell it to the judge, Karen." That comment got over 40,000 likes. She tried turning off her comments. Didn't help. She tried deleting the videos. Too late. Screen recorded, archived, stitched, re-uploaded. The internet never forgets. And neither does the law. Karen thought it was just noise. Internet drama, people mad for a few days, then moving on to the next outrage. She'd seen it happen before. She believed it would blow over. So when she got the first letter, she laughed. It came in a slim white envelope, hand-delivered, stamped with the letterhead of Rivera and Shaw LLP. The language was clean, precise, cold. This letter serves as formal notice of impending legal action for violations including but not limited to defamation, harassment of a disabled individual, and breach of privacy under state and federal statutes. Karen tossed it on the counter. "They're bluffing," she said to no one. "Lawyers don't sue people over jokes." But Alexis Rivera wasn't bluffing. And this wasn't just a joke. The very next day, Karen received an email, then another, then a formal summons. She wasn't being warned, she was being sued. Her name would be on the docket. So would the video. So would every comment, caption, and live stream she'd posted. Karen panicked. She called 3 different attorneys. The first one declined, conflict of interest. The second quoted her $15,000 up front. The third said, "You're going up against Alexis Rivera? Yeah, you might want to settle." But Karen refused. She booked a podcast interview with a right-wing influencer, hoping to spin the narrative. Sitting in a cheap studio with an American flag behind her, she leaned into the microphone. This isn't about a TikTok. This is about cancel culture. They're trying to destroy my life because I made fun of some guy in a park. Big deal. He's not even mentally all there. The clip went viral, again, but not the way she hoped. Veterans groups reposted it with fury. Disability rights organizations called it out for hate speech. Even media outlets that once sympathized with free speech cases started to back away. What Karen didn't realize was that Alexis Rivera wasn't doing this for clout. She wasn't doing it for headlines. She was doing it because Mr. Lawson had stopped going to the park. He wouldn't eat in public anymore. He wouldn't ride the bus. And when Alexis asked why, he just said, "I don't want to give them something else to laugh at." That's when Alexis decided this wasn't just a lawsuit, it was a reckoning. She pulled the full metadata from the TikTok videos, compiled digital timestamps, traced the edit trails, the re-uploads, the monetization patterns. Karen had received over $2,200 in bonus payouts from TikTok's creator fund for those posts. She profited off humiliation. Alexis added intentional infliction of emotional distress to the suit. She included screenshots of Karen's comments calling her father Glitch Grandpa in Park NPC. And then she dropped the press bomb, a national exclusive with a major news outlet. Headline, "When Mockery Meets the Law, Daughter Sues TikTok Troll Who Humiliated Her Disabled Father." It aired that Sunday night. Footage of Mr. Lawson, smiling weakly. Interview clips of Alexis, steady and calm. A chilling shot of Karen's videos, played back to back, unedited. Then came the final quote from Alexis. She wanted to go viral, so did I. Except I brought receipts and a legal team. By Monday, Karen's real estate license was under review. Her brokerage removed her name from their site. Her inbox was flooded with refund demands from past clients. She went private on all platforms. But the screenshots had already spread, and the court date, it was officially set. The courtroom was small, but it was packed. Reporters lined the back wall. Law students sat shoulder to shoulder in the benches, scribbling notes. Even a few veterans showed up, uniforms pressed, eyes locked. At the front of it all, sitting behind her lawyer, was Karen Reynolds, a woman no longer smirking. She wore black, minimal makeup, hair pulled back tight as if trying to pull herself together. She didn't look like @Karen Unfiltered anymore. She looked like someone who wanted to disappear. But no one was going to forget. Across the aisle sat Alexis Rivera, composed, unflinching. Her father at her side, dressed in a suit that hung a little loose on his frail frame, but his posture, straight, steady. When the judge entered, everyone rose. The case was introduced as Lawson versus Reynolds. But what followed was more than just a hearing. It was a dissection. Alexis stood and presented a 34-slide exhibit. Each slide showed a different frame, each frame a different insult, each insult deliberate. She played the videos with sound. Karen flinched at her own voice. The room didn't laugh, it froze. Alexis read the ADA statute out loud, then showed the timeline of Karen's re-uploads, the captions, the monetized views, the brand deals she tried to land using the viral clip. Finally, she paused, then spoke directly to the judge. This was not a joke. This was a sustained campaign of humiliation. My father was targeted, exploited, and dehumanized. And this court has a duty to say enough. Karen's lawyer tried to pivot. He said it was a lapse in judgment, that public spaces come with public scrutiny, that Karen had apologized. Alexis interrupted calmly. Your Honor, she deleted the apology less than 24 hours after posting it, then called my father a walking glitch in a podcast heard by 300,000 listeners. The judge nodded. He asked one question to Karen directly. Do you understand what the ADA is? She hesitated. It's the disability law thing? A beat of silence. No further questions, the judge said. An hour later, the verdict came down. Karen was found liable for defamation, harassment, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Damages were awarded to Mr. Lawson in the amount of $175,000, plus an additional $25,000 in civil penalties under the state's disability rights statute. But more than money, the court ordered a formal public apology to be read on video and published for 90 days. a mandatory digital literacy course on ADA compliance and anti-discrimination, a ban on monetizing any video content for 24 months. Karen broke down. She cried. She begged for leniency. She said she was just trying to be funny. The judge's response was simple. Being cruel is not the same as being clever. And today, this courtroom is reminding you of that. Outside, cameras flashed. Veterans clapped Mr. Lawson on the back. And Alexis, she didn't celebrate. She just held her father's arm, helped him down the steps, and said, "Let's go get that sandwich. It's been 3 months." The videos are gone now, wiped from platforms, shadowed from search engines. But the memory, still sharp. Mr. Lawson hasn't gone viral again. But he has gone back to the park. Same bench, same time. Tuesday and Friday, only now he's not alone. Sometimes it's Alexis sitting beside him with her laptop working between bites of sandwich. Sometimes it's kids from the community stopping to say hi. Sometimes it's strangers, people who saw the story, read the headline, felt something crack open inside them. Not everyone recognized him from the viral video, but they recognized something else: dignity. As for Karen, her real estate license is suspended pending review. The podcast dropped her. 3 sponsors pulled out of her deals. She issued the court-ordered apology, flat, wooden, read off a screen, but posted all the same. For 90 days, every person who searched her name found a video titled, "My public statement regarding Mr. Lawson and the harm I caused." No music, no hashtags, no filters, just her face, eyes down, voice shaking. And Alexis, she didn't post follow-ups, didn't do interviews, didn't take a victory lap. She just went back to work. One night, weeks after the hearing, she and her father sat on their usual bench. Warm breeze, early dusk, sandwich halves in foil. He looked out over the lake. "Why'd you fight so hard for this?" he asked. "I'm just one guy." Alexis didn't answer right away. She reached into her bag, pulled out a folded envelope, the court's official ruling, set it in his lap. Then she said, "Because you're not just anything, you're my Dean, and the world needed to remember that." He didn't cry, neither did she, but something passed between them. Quiet, heavy, permanent. As the sun dipped lower and the light turned gold, a little girl walked by holding her mother's hand. She waved at Mr. Lawson. "You're the nice man on the bench," she said. He smiled. "I try to be." The world didn't change overnight, but something did. In a time when cruelty gets clicks and kindness gets ignored, one daughter chose to fight back. Not with noise, but with truth. And sometimes that's enough.